everyone. Welcome to the latest webinar, which is the Anti-Sales Manifesto webinar. I'm very excited about this one, for the first one for the new year. So what we're going to talk about is you've obviously got online, got some new introductions, and we're going to talk about what is the Anti-Sales Manifesto. After that, we're going to then talk about why we've created the Anti-Sales Manifesto. I'm going to introduce to you the equation for the ASM. We're going to talk about what do you want for 2021, some goals and reverse engineering. We're going to mention our new selling club, which is very, very exciting. We're very excited about this. This was engineered over the Christmas break. And obviously talk about the book, which is coming out at the end of Jan, and a little bit of chat about sales training and what do we think that's going to look like in 21. We're going to talk about the secret of getting people to like you, and have you planned your year? So with that, let's introduce what we're going to talk about. So the Anti-Sales Manifesto was an article that I wrote in December last year. Now, we're sales trainers, sales coaches, both salespeople. Many of you here are salespeople as well. So you might wonder, why am I writing something called the Anti-Sales Manifesto? And simply put, I want to put forward my case to stop people selling. I don't like what's happening with a lot of selling. I don't like how many salespeople are selling and how they're making their lives and the lives of their customers much harder, much more unpleasant, and less effective. You see, I believe that you should be helping people buy the product or service that is right for them, as opposed to selling something to them. So I don't believe in selling people products or services they don't want, that they don't need, will not use, and may regret buying later on, which would then affect their return and all the things that come with that. You see, when we sell, and obviously when we teach people to sell in our sales training business, we don't discuss our services or our details of our benefits of our services or the aspects of what we do until we know with as much certainty as we can muster that the person we're talking to will benefit from using our services. There's no point selling to somebody, pushing a product if you don't know that it's going to be a benefit. And the only way you can really know is if you ask the right questions, find out from the customer. So we don't want to provide a solution that has to be sold to customers. We don't want to provide solutions that customers don't want to buy. We only want to sell when we know someone's going to buy, because we've all done this. We've all sold to customers that want to buy. So it's a lot easier to sell to someone that is going to buy, as opposed to just trying to push water uphill. Use a phrase, there's an old phrase from an old sales trainer. So if you need to be persuasive, if you need to convince, if you need to manipulate or push or promote things in a way that is hard, then you're not necessarily selling. You're almost deceiving, because you're not really helping the customer to buy. So, why are you selling? Are you selling for yourself because you want to make commission? Or are you selling because what you are offering benefits the customer? Do you know that what you're selling benefits the customer? Because if you do know that it's going to benefit the customer, then actually what you're doing is you're not selling for yourself, you're selling because it's going to provide a benefit to the customer. So we believe that you should treat your customer like family or people you care about or you love. Because if you were selling a product to somebody you loved, you really make sure that this was the right product for them before they bought it. In other words, you find out if it was right for them, you double check, you make sure that the features, advantages and benefits of the product were going to be matched with what the customer or the person you loved wanted.
Let's talk about that a second, because word love and by selling with love or helping the customers, if you think about a young salesperson that's just got a job and they're at their desk and they actually really don't care about the person on the line, all they really care about is making money and getting as much commission as possible. This might for some people be that what a salesperson is, or that attitude to some. But if we go back to the idea of how we would treat a family member or someone we really care about or a friend, we would want to make sure it was right for them. So by giving that to someone you care, you get a lot from it. You feel a lot better and you're more likely to help get the sale because that person is going to actually want the product or need it, have a need for it, and therefore they'll buy. And actually putting that love out there brings connection. I mean, and if we go back to that image of just someone sitting there just wanting to get commission, but not really, there's a disconnection. And I think that love brings back connection. And that disconnection is what I believe causes this bad rep that salespeople get, because there seems to be a disconnection between the communication of two people, from a customer and a salesperson, and that lack of connection has a lack of love.
Well, so this is interesting because if you loved somebody deeply, you would make sure that it was the right product for them. Now, if you were selling something to somebody you loved, and I'm not talking about giving it away at cost or anything like that. I'm talking about the attitude adjustment of telling as opposed to finding out, this is the product you should buy. You should buy this because it's going to do this for you. And that means it's going to do that. And this. That is very much against what we believe in. Because if you are telling somebody something, they're not necessarily going to believe you. I mean, if I tell Bianca anything, she just automatically doesn't believe me. Just doesn't. I mean, but that's not, if she tells me things, I don't believe her. Not automatically. Now I'm going to ask all of you, who in your life, when they tell you something, do you automatically believe everything they say is correct? You know when they're being dishonest. 100%. This is 100% of the time. You know when they're being honest. You believe everything they say. When they're right, you know they're right. And when they're wrong, you know they're wrong. 100%. Is there anyone in your life that you can say, I know 100% they're telling the truth, 100% they're being honest, 100% they're correct in what they're saying? Anyone in your life?
I know the answer, but I'd like to see what other people come back with before we give it away.
So there is one person, Kaylee and Vanessa have said no. So there's one person, Matt Hancock, very good, Colin. So there is one person that who when they speak, you know that they are telling the truth. You know when they're lying. You know when they're sure about things. You know when they're not sure about things. And who is that person, Bianca?
You. As in me, or you.
Oneself.
Yeah, oneself.
And so therefore, if you as a salesperson tell a customer about the benefits of your product, about whatever it is, can you see that by telling, they've got to think, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Now, let me ask you a simple question. If I tell you something, you don't believe it, you've got a truth filter. So if I was talking to Bianca, in the middle of us there's a truth filter. She only lets in what she believes. Okay? She only lets in what she believes. So, Bianca, what is your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should know that.
What is the favorite color of clothing you like to wear?
No.
What was that?
Oh, don't know. Well, I wear a lot of black.
Black. So if I said to you, you look good in black, that would be me telling you. But if I said, what's your favorite color? What do you like to wear? What sort of skirts do you like to wear, etc.? What colors do you like to wear?
You're getting me to question myself.
When you start thinking about what you like, and then you tell me. Now, here's the cool thing. When Bianca tells me her favorite color, Who else does she tell? Who else does she tell?
myself.
And when you tell yourself, what does that mean? You believe it. You believe what you tell yourself. So when I say that telling isn't selling, or that telling the customer that they should buy your product or service, or telling them they should do this or that is inefficient, it's because of just that reason. So it's quick for me to say, yeah, you should wear black. It's harder for me to say, well, why, what's your favorite color? Would you like to wear? Do you prefer skirts or trousers? Or she tells me, she tells herself, that means that we've got a situation where I'm helping her to do what, Bianca?
Make the right buying decision for me.
Bingo.
But I think it's a really simple example of the buying the dress. But if you were trying to sell me a black dress and I hated black, let's say I was scared of it, or I don't know, and really didn't like it, and you haven't even asked anything to know that about me, and then try and push it upon me, of course you're going to resist and come back, because that you don't want to be sold to, because you haven't taken the time to get to know that person.
And that makes it harder.
Well, yeah, and sales has a lot of communication in it, and somewhere along the way, people have lost that communication and that connection and that care to forge that connection. So what this is all about is really reigniting that and bringing it back, and it coming from a place of love and wanting to communicate.
So 3 things. 1, treat your customers as if they were people you deeply care about. 2, find out everything you can about the customer's situation and what they want and what they need, but what they want in the main. And 3, sell only when you know that it's the right product or service for the customer. Now that is the manifesto. And it's simply as this. Stop selling what you want to sell. Start caring about your customers' needs and wants. Stop telling the customers why they should buy. Start helping the customer buy the product or service that is right for them. Stop deceiving both yourself and the customer, and start loving the customer as if they were family. Stop selling, start caring, stop telling, start helping, stop deceiving, start loving.
Care, help, love.
Good. So that is the ethos. Now, Bianca, because Bianca's part, to be fair, I'm much more logical, driven, square line, straight boxes sort of person. Bianca, who is more emotional, creative, and into that sort of thing, we both have the same ethos of wanting to help the customer. So I want to ask Bianca this question, because actually it's Bianca that has stimulated this change to our sales ethos that's been going on for the past 6 months, or past really the whole of the last year, when we started to change or evolve what we're doing. But Bianca, why do you think this is the right way to do things?
I think at the end of the day, wanting to help people is just a far nicer way to go about your job, when what you're actually supposed to be doing in sales is helping someone. So to actually want to do it, for it to come from a place of love, you're going to have a far better time, far more enjoyment out of your job, and be serving a higher purpose. But again, it's connection. And part of the reason why I've always for me, sales has always been like this, but I've worked in many, many sales roles where I've observed other people who have a very different approach, and would often come and be like sort of in awe that I was doing so well. And I think it comes from the fact that I genuinely love talking to people and finding out about them and helping them. But then that sounds a bit like customer service, but it really is a case of communicating and understanding, and then providing. And on the word of love, it's not just about the customer, it's also about you. You got to love you and really love what you're selling, or love your service, your product. If you don't actually love what you're doing, then how are you going to love the customer? Because you don't care, you're not connected to what you're doing, and you're not living or you're not working from a place of love.
Yeah, this is customer service. It's outbound customer service. You see,
Yeah.
customer service is inbound. A customer comes to you and says, I've got a problem. How can you help me? And you go, okay, let me ask you a few questions to find out what your problem is. Customer ask you the questions. You go, okay, I can help you. Let me ask you a few questions so I can help you with your problem. That's customer service. Now, what we talk about in the ASM, that's the Anti-Sales Manifesto, for those of you that like acronyms, is effectively outbound customer service. Hello, Mr. Customer. We'd like to help you with your problem. Customer goes, I don't have a problem. And that's why outbound customer service is tricky. And that's why we created the things that we're doing in our selling club and the book, sales training, everything that we do. It's because making an outbound customer service call can be tricky because no one wants to be told they've got a problem. I mean, I'm always told I've got a problem by everybody, but that's because everyone's got a problem with me because I'm a bit mental. But now,
with honesty as well, when you're selling with care and you're honest and you're truthful and you're selling in your truth, the sales will stick and they'll last longer. Yeah. So, if you're, I mean, it's very different. I know a lot of you on here have very different products and services, and that actual sales pipeline looks very different for all of you. I know some of you have a very long sales pipeline, and their processes to actually from initial conversation to closing that deal is large, and could take months. So, and others it's quick and it's quite simply okay, great, let's get going.
So I want to show the last part of the ASM. So we created an equation, which I mentioned. So I'm going to share with you just for a moment a screen. This is our Anti-Sales Manifesto equation.
Love times knowledge plus a positive attitude times honest hard work equals success and happiness.
And we'll share that with you if you want afterwards. But that's love. In other words, caring about your customer. Knowledge, know your product, know what you're talking about, and have a positive attitude. Believe that what you are doing is right and is going to help them. And honest hard work, ask the right questions, make the phone calls, speak to the people, equals success and happiness, and whatever that means for you. And I think that's the important thing.
But on the happiness, I think as well, that really means happiness of your customer, because and naturally, if your customers are happy, they might come back for more, or you might have a very long, lovely business relationship there that will last a long time, and that's happiness from both sides. But back to selling with honesty, if you just want a quick sell and you sell something or product or a service to someone who's actually it's not right for them, then that's not going to sit right, and also they're probably not going to be happy with the service and come back, and then you've got something else to deal with. So understanding all of that information before actually making the sale will prevent that from happening in the future and ensure that both sides are happy and it's a win-win situation.
Right. So, Bianca, you've got a question.
I've got a question. What do you want?
For 2021.
Yeah, so what do you want for 2021? We've got a new year, we've got fresh opportunities. This is a year that we can really achieve what we want to achieve. I've really been concentrated lately on the fact that we are limitless, and the only limits that we put on ourselves, the only limits we have are the ones that we put on ourselves. So ask yourself, what do you want to achieve in 2021? I think 2020 definitely taught us to adapt. It challenged us in new ways. We had to pivot, we had to learn, we had to go through disaster recovery, whatever it was or whatever that meant to you. It was a challenging year for us all. So what do you want for 2021? I think the best way to start this off is with a real positive attitude. This is a year that we can welcome in abundance, and we can really, really go for what we want. And this brings a new window of opportunity to learn new ways to do things. In our ASM, or Anti-Sales Manifesto, it's also got a lot about personal development, because and something we've definitely learned is the more you love yourself, the more you're able to love everything else around you, people, what you do, your career, your customers. So what
Are you talking about the Anti-Sales Manifesto, the forthcoming book that we've written?
Yeah.
How exciting. So that is exciting, and we're going to have a little offer about the book later on, which I think you'll all like. We're very excited about it. We didn't have Christmas or New Year. We did working on the book, which was a lot of fun. No, but this is for me. I think it's a great opportunity. I know we are potentially going to have another update from the change of the circumstances going to change again, in which is why we will be finished definitely by 8 o'clock. However, I believe this is a wonderful opportunity, because there are plenty of people out there who aren't doing what you're doing. They're not sitting on a webinar looking to motivate and energize and grow for this year. They're sitting there going, oh, life is so terrible. So already you are ahead of where they are. Now, I'm not saying that we're the font of all wisdom, but the fact that you want to grow, develop, and add to your knowledge and your attitude and your motivation means that the people that don't are going to fall behind. This is the time to push forward with positivity. And I'm not saying take crazy risks. I'm talking about making it happen, because there are plenty of people that are just talking themselves out of opportunity, talking themselves out of chance, talking themselves out of success. If there was it's a very famous poem, but if you can stand where all around you have lost their heads, then you're a man, my son. And of course a woman, my daughter, as well, in the 2020 version. But it's a great poem because it says, look, you can do this. So if you want to work out what you've got to do for 21, then you've got to start setting goals. And you've got to, thank you very much, Colin, If by Rudyard Kipling. Mm-hmm. Goals. What are your goals for the year? Now, I've talked about this on previous webinars. I believe in goals that are reverse engineered. Goals where you set the goal and you work your way back to now, as opposed to saying, now I'm going to get here. And I give you a reason why this is the case. If I said to you all, you've got to go to a certain address in Liverpool, or I said you're in a certain address in Liverpool and you've got to come home, what's going to be the easier journey? Going from here to this place that you've never been to before, or coming from the place you've never been to here? What is the easier journey? From a long distance away to where you are now, or from now to where you've got to get to? And the answer is obviously it's easier to come home than it is to go. So if you start your goal of what you want to achieve, where do you want to be in 2021? Sorry, January the 4th, 2022. Describe, visualize, and be as specific as you can, because they say specific is terrific. As specific in as much detail what you want. What do you look like? What is your year like? What was your finances like? What was the business like? What are you like physically in 365 days from now? Really guide that. Write that image out. And then think about what did you look like a month, or what was the business like a month earlier? 11 months from now, 10 months from now, and chunk your way back to now. The steps that you did all the way there. And then what did you need to do to get from one to the other? What did you need to do each step of the way back? And what you do is you literally say, right, from 12 months to 11 months, what did I need to do? From 11 to 10, what did I need to do? When you've done that, and it takes about 3 hours, if you're really in detail, you've worked out every step of the way, and we talk about reverse engineering goals in the book, which is soon available. But if you work everything out, then what you do is you simply start at the bottom of the page and walk back up that plan, because you've literally created the plan for the next 12 years by reverse engineering it from where you are. It's much easier to come back down now to where you are now than it is to go from here up to there. Really, really important. So set goals, reverse engineering them and bringing them back to now is vital.
And make sure you do celebrate all your wins, because it's like New Year's resolutions. So many people just fall down because they might go a different way, or they might not follow what they set for themselves, and then they just give up. So I always feel like it's so important to celebrate each and every win, every step that you take up towards, whether it's a small goal or your larger goal, your end goal. Make sure that you're always, giving yourself that motivation and that love that you need to get there.
Can I say one thing though? Just ask everybody on here. How many of you have set goals in the past and achieved them? I know quite a few of you on here have done that and had a lot of success with them, because it is vital. But one thing is, it's one thing setting goals. Lots of yeses. Lots of yeses. Now, here's the other question. How many times have you set a goal and you've missed it because it was so difficult? It was such a hard goal, or you fell off the wagon, or you didn't achieve it because it was too difficult, or you changed the goal, or whatever it is. It didn't quite happen as much as you could have done. And I think there's two things here. First of all, when you set yourself very, very strict regimen, weight loss, for example, or other aspects, playing golf, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to fall off the wagon. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You've got to be kind to yourself and not beat yourself up about things, because I the worst for this is taking me a long time to be kind to myself, as opposed to driving, so you've got to be like this, you've got to be like this, you've got to be like this, to relax. And Bianca's really helped me do that over the last couple of years, where I would be very, very focused and be too much so, because you can't, goals are structured, but you've got to, I was going to say the most important thing to have in your goals, the single most, in fact, before I'm going to tell you, what do you think the number one thing you've got to have to make a goal happen? So ask what people are going to say here. The number one, my opinion, of course, number one thing you need to do to make a goal happen.
Plan, positivity.
What do you think, Bianca? What's the number one thing that they should have?
Why?
That's what I'm asking you. She's right.
The why.
What is your why? What is your why? Why? Why do you want to do it? Because if you don't know why, it's not going to work. Got to have a why. Know what you want to achieve, David, 100%. But why? There you go. I knew Phil would get the answer. We knew. Thank God that we got it before you out there. But the why.
Yeah.
Why? Why
Love
are you
that,
doing
Vanessa.
It? Why? Why bother? Why do it? Why put yourself through that? And it's got to be, and I think what Vanessa said, and Phil said, do you not think it's got to, what's more important, for me to do a goal for you, or you to do it for you?
You to do it for you.
And that is motivation. Why do you want these goals? Why do you want to have a good 2021? Because people think they want you to. The why is so important. So important. So
we have a journaling exercise in the book that's also really good. As this is a sales training webinar, I mean, we won't go over them all, but there's lots of different questions that we ask to plan for 2021 or plan for your year.
Go through the exercise.
So you guys might want to have a pen and paper. I mean, we can always email these after, but if you have a pen and paper, you could write down these prompts and go through it later. And if anyone wants to opt in and write theirs in the chat and be a little bit vulnerable, then please do go ahead. But some questions for you, such as, what would you love to improve about your selling ability in the next year? Because if we're all salespeople, you might be in a sales role, you might be a business owner that needs to bring in new customers for your business, but we also are salespeople when we sell our house, or we go to a job interview, we're selling ourselves. You know, there's all different times in life as we go through life that we are salespeople. So everyone here is a salesperson.
Ask me that question.
Okay. What would you like to improve about your sales ability?
I want to improve everything about my sales ability, because I personally feel that you can always improve. But specifically, because I'm extrovert, more extrovert than introvert, I think I struggle to listen.
I knew you were going to say that.
More than I should. I need to work on my listening. I think that's, but that's because I'm an extrovert. Introverts are generally better at listening. Extroverts, because they've always got a lot to say.
I think I've become more introvert. I was 99% extrovert in 2015. And every time I do this test, I'm more and more and more moving towards introvert. But yes, that is a huge part of selling. You need to be able to actively listen.
When you've written yes in capitals, knowing me as you do, are you saying that I need to listen more? Is that a criticism there?
I think there's a delay. Oh, he's just playing.
It's not funny. Yeah, jokes got to be funny. Anyway, I'm only joking.
Made me laugh.
Right, so next.
Okay, what do you find particularly difficult about selling?
That's a good one.
Gatekeepers.
Oh, Helen, you need the book. You need join our selling club. We have a whole section on gatekeepers in selling club. I love gatekeepers.
So do I.
I love them. Gatekeepers are your,
this comes back to selling with love.
Fish are friends. What was that film? Fish are friends. The shark said it. What was the film?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Fish, friends not food. Friends not food is, gatekeepers are our friends.
Literally. Honestly.
But anyway, we don't want to go into that. I've
been the gatekeeper, and honestly, people. Yeah, I was a gatekeeper for Rolex years ago, at their head office, and people would come to me with the most unbelievable stories, and I'd sit there and I'd listen, and I'd go and pitch it for them to the marketing team, hoping that one day I might be in there. Anyway, they'd stand in front of me and they'd rip it up and put it in the bin and go, "No thanks, so rude." And I literally would take on these stories and want them to make it. And that's because they were just so lovely and friendly, and actually being in that seat of experiencing that, I really understood that. And when people were rude and arrogant and talk down to you and think that they can just get through because, well, they can, that doesn't work. They're just people, and just by chatting to them and I know when you've got lots of calls, it's hard if you're in telesales or whatever, but it takes a second to like someone, and by liking them.
So we've heard some good answers.
I don't want to give away, actually, because
I nearly did.
I gave it all away.
So hardest part of selling is disconnecting your ego from the process and not taking it personally, Leon. Yeah, it can be very, very tough. However, this is the whole point about ASM, does exactly that. It is the concept of you're trying to help, and if it's not right for them, then it's not right for them. And you can't sell. If someone's a vegetarian, you cannot sell them a steak. If they're absolutely, or someone's allergic to peanuts, you can't sell them peanuts. You can't take it personally. So it's that concept of really understanding what's going on. So some good comments there. Great, Helen. I love that.
Yeah.
Then the next question to ask you guys, all great stuff from here, is what part of selling do you love? Which is the bit you love? You know what the hard bit is? What do you love?
I think we should call them out, the answers,
The
because
sale,
they're only
happy
coming
clients.
to us.
Go on.
Um,
Helen put something, by the way, I heard something good the other day, asking a gatekeeper if they can do you a favor, become your friend, like you said, and feel they're helping out. Absolutely. That's how we do it. That's why we love them, because we make friends, not food. So love the conversation, love being referred. Great, Leon. Converting a prospect to a sale, helping others. Helen, that's exactly the point. Finding a solution, helping others, helping them. It's the customer service part of selling. When you find something, listen, a lot of people enjoyed a close. We had a fantastic thing. We had a great close, for want of a better word, occurred today. I was so happy. I've been working all over Christmas. I was so happy. It was a proper yes goal, like you scored as if you're a football supporter. And there are football supporters on here who don't get to say yes quite a lot. Leighton and I are followers of a particular team that we haven't had a lot of fun recently, but we are getting more fun. And but the point is, it was great.
It helped so many people.
But those moments, the close, they're so fleeting. But when you're doing the helping, that's when you know, oh, it's exciting, because you know that yes moment is coming, because you have found someone that you can help.
And if that person is the right customer for you, and you've done it right, and you've brought in the right customer, the joy that is going to come from that business relationship and all of the results that come from it, again, it depends on your product or service, but I know a lot of you here, you help people in such ways that when you do it right and you have the right person, they're happy, you're happy. It's just an exchange of love, and it is the most wonderful thing. And you know what, we work all day long, between 5 and 7 days a week. Why shouldn't we be happy and feeling great about what we're doing and how we're helping people? There's just so much more benefit to doing it the right way.
So why do we love those moments? Why do we love them? Why do we love them? Helping people. Why? Because it makes you feel good. Connection. Vanessa's put connection.
Mm-hmm.
Iden, makes you feel good. Seeing a design meet the customer's vision and how happy you make them.
It's
Mark,
lovely.
you know what? Mark Evans, when you're itching for a kitchen, he's the man to ring. If everybody's looking for a kitchen on here, I can tell you that Mark Evans does amazing kitchens. Absolutely stunning. But yes, that makes you feel good. It's that feeling.
Actually, that's a really good example, because planning a kitchen, it can be incredibly stressful, scary, also exciting, completely riding the wave of, oh my God, so much fun.
Hang on. But who is that exciting for?
For the customer.
For the customer as well.
And by having that person to support you that genuinely cares about your end goal. If I come in and I say, I want this, 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 and this, and that person doesn't really care about me, you're not going to have that trust, you're not going to have that connection. And when you do work with a salesperson that really gets you, and that you can see that you trust them and you enjoy that relationship, that's a great. So that whole pipeline is enjoyable, and the customer is enjoying buying.
So if you can, so what we're saying here is, if you are helping the customer buy something that's right for them, they enjoy it.
They enjoy it.
And who else enjoys it?
You enjoy it.
You enjoy it.
The salesperson.
And how much fun is that to do that for a living?
Much more fun than trying to force someone into.
I want to do that for a living. I want to be the person that helps people get excited. And
you do.
Oh, hey! Yes, we do. Now that is why we do these free webinars, because it helps you understand what we do, we enjoy it. Bianca loves it. She doesn't love it 10 minutes before we start. Let me tell you, she gives me such a hard time. Why do we do this? You haven't told me everything to say. But the truth is,
only because you throw me in the deep end every time.
You swim every time.
There's no plan.
There's always a plan. There's a plan here. Right.
We love
it. But do you see that sort of concept of helping them? They get more out of it. They get more than you get. Who wins? You or a customer, if you do a good job for them. Who has the longest benefit, you or them? Who has the best benefit? If you do a really good job.
The customer.
Absolutely.
The customer for sure.
Absolutely.
If we had, it's so funny because I keep seeing a lot on LinkedIn at the minute, hate being sold to, I hate being sold to, these salespeople, these people coming, they're selling to me, and people are angry. People are actually resisting against salespeople. But we're forgetting something, that if we look at how businesses have been affected in COVID, there are so many businesses that have suffered, gone under, and the salespeople, the actual people, they are the front line of businesses. They are bringing business in. Those are the people that are keeping businesses alive, and they are literally the front line of businesses. And yet they're getting such bad stick because of certain ways certain salespeople are behaving or acting, and it's the opposite of what we're preaching here with the ASM. And it's a shame because they deserve respect, because it's a hard job for many. You know, it's easy when you know what you're doing, but you have to take a lot of rejection. You know, people can be quite fearful in sales if they're not doing it right. And that can be a stressful job for someone who's not got the right training or not selling correctly. That can be quite a stressful job. And it's hard work. You know, I know Mark Grant, for example, he in commercial finance, he's helping businesses find financing solutions to get them off the ground at this time. And he really cares about his clients. I love this about him. He genuinely cares so much, and he's problem solving all the time to help them, but genuinely cares. And that is a great salesperson, because his connection between what he does and that customer is completely connected, and there isn't that disconnect. So if we could bring back the connection with the right training, the right attitude, and the right approach, and caring more about the customer, what would that say about salespeople and businesses? How would that change the health of businesses, the culture, and this whole attitude towards salespeople?
I think the thing is, without sales, there is no business.
There isn't.
And that is it in a nutshell. Unfortunately, a lot of non-salespeople look down their nose, or they keep thinking that it's that they don't appreciate the value that salespeople put in, the effort that we all put in. You see, it's a bit like a swan glides across the water, but underneath, legs are going 50 to a dozen. And when you look at an iceberg, you see that iceberg metaphor, you see a very small bit at the top, and that's all that the non-salesperson may see. But it's all the stuff underneath that has happened to get to those deals. All the, the sales pipeline. If you think about the fact that every deal had 3 proposals, each proposal had 3 sales conversations. Each sales conversation had 3 initial conversations, and each initial conversation had 3 first emails, and each from first dial, cold dial, or whatever. It's a huge amount of effort that goes in just to get that little bit of perfect sale out. And it's and as Aiden just said, that sales does keep the world moving. It is what is the process, and the key to good selling comes from, we believe, that love, knowledge, and at times knowledge and attitude is the start. Care, know, be positive, multiplied by honest hard work. In other words, do the work, talk to people, know what you're saying, have the right attitude, care, put the work in. That cannot fail. But you've got to make the action. You've got to do it. It's not easy. Nothing in your life is easy, but it's not difficult. So let me give you an example. How can something be easy, really easy, and really difficult at the same time?
Because you don't know what you're...
No, how can something be really difficult and really easy? So, is jumping out of an aeroplane difficult? I mean, all you got to do is this. It's not difficult, is it?
It's difficult for many people because there's fear.
So, it's physically easy,
mentally
difficult. Same thing with the bungee jump. Belief, confidence, all of these things. But actually, like everything, selling's not difficult. It's just not. If I can, and I kid you not, if I can do this, if I can sell, public speaking, how many of you, if I said to you, right, you're going to, how many of you, and I know that there's some that would be quite happy with it, but how many of you, if I said, right, we're going to make you the presenter for the next 3 minutes, we'd like you to talk about yourself and what you sell, how many of you would be quite happy to do that? And how many of you think, oh, not quite sure? You know, of course, there's a lot of good people on this thing. So a lot of people are saying this, but a lot of people would still go, oh, put on the post. And now the vast majority of people out there find the idea of public speaking quite,
it's outside their comfort zone.
Outside their comfort zone. And if you're part of the networking groups that a lot of us are parts of, it's easier, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. It's never. I mean, I do a lot of speaking.
What about the time you sent me on a train within hours to deliver a talk I hadn't even written to 150 people in Leicester?
Her first public speaking to 150 16-year-olds.
Oh, I'm double booked.
About a maths software that we were providing. Bianca's first ever public speaking gig. But you knew it and you cared and you listened and you followed
really
and it was, and that group that Bianca spoke to got the best results that we'd ever seen anywhere in the country for GCSE research. That was 2 years ago. But that's because she knew what she was talking about.
I really cared and I really believed.
And it's interesting that because now you all watching Bianca, and a lot of people have said that, that she's very natural and everything else. And I feel very proud that she's on these calls with me and how confident she is and how assured she is and everything else. What you don't see is 5 minutes before we start these, what she's like, which is not confident, assured, or anything else. In fact, 2 webinars ago, some of you will have seen exactly what happens, what Bianca is like just before she comes on, where she absolutely tore me apart. I was so angry with me. You hadn't done this, you hadn't done that, you hadn't done the other.
No, it was one comment because you were stressed, and actually it wasn't quite like that.
It was quite like that.
Someone asked for a married couple.
So a married couple. Right, so let's talk about this. So hopefully you will enjoy this and getting something out of it. Let's talk about, I'd just like to have a very, very quick view. I hope you don't mind me doing this, but I do want to talk about something that's become very dear to our hearts, which is helping people to get the best that they want to be. And we care about the people we work with. We really care. The reason why I was so happy about the sale that occurred earlier on today is because it wasn't my sale. It was a sale for my customer. And 2 customers of ours that we work with got big deals today. And we were buzzing like 3? Third one. Oh, 3. Exciting. I forgot about that one. So 3, but that gave us as much pleasure as if we'd done it ourselves. But the point is that we want our clients to succeed. And so we only take on clients and work with people that we know we can help. Otherwise, what's the point? Because we won't get that pleasure from helping them. They won't be happy with what we're doing. So what we've created, and really it's a product created because of what's been going on, is something called Sales Club. And Sales Club is effectively a monthly sales training group session. It's 3 hours and it's every month, and it's about helping people understand what the Anti-Sales Manifesto is about. Small groups, having a regular session. There'll be a WhatsApp group that goes with it. It effectively takes you through the year through our sales training program. It's not networking. It's to do with specifically how to sell. Okay, but we're very excited about this product we're launching and how it's going to work, because it's effectively regular sales training, but it's part of a group. So it's a group dynamic, and there's people that be on it. And we're going to invite, the regular webinar viewers that come to our sessions to be in our first group. But it is only a small group. That's the first thing we're going to do. And the other thing we're doing is we've also built a new CRM, Sales V CRM, which is also launching in the next 2 weeks. And we're going to let you have a play with that for free, so you can break it and tell us what's wrong. Helen, you're asking other webinars always in the evening. We had a discussion earlier about we're going to do the next one in the day, because we want to be able to we want to see what people want. So Sales Club is something which is about helping you become the best you can be.
It's personal development, motivation,
but
and
really
sales training.
Sales training, and specifically this is what we're going to do. But it gives you the chance to talk about what you've done the previous month and what you've tried, how it's worked, and we do a coaching. Everyone that's in the Sales Club gets our online sales training for free as part of it. So you get access to the online sales training, and then you get to talk about how it's worked and everything else for you. So it's a new thing for this year. But it's all about goals and setting and all that sort of thing. But we're quite excited about it. So if you're interested in that, please let us know by message, phone, whatever. You're going to get an email from us afterwards anyway. And you'll also get a copy of this edited version of this webinar afterwards as well. So I just wanted to mention that. And Bianca, do you have something you want to talk about?
The book. So we have taken Dad's Psychology of Sales training program, which is excellent. And a little bit about that, because some of you might know, some of you might not, but our training program is called the Psychology of Sales. And Dad, who has been in sales, I'll say since the playground for many, many years, and been a sales trainer for 14 years? Trainer.
I have a sales training business for 14
years.
But I was sales training when I was sales manager and things like that for a long time.
So back, I was 14.
You were
what
16.
Year was it when
you were 15.
15.
When you came to the blackjack promotions thing in Heathrow
When you
Airport,
had the accident. How old
was
I was
13
14,
years ago.
I think.
It was 13 years ago.
Yeah, so Dad had a really bad accident and had a near-death experience, and actually wrote a lot of it when he was a bit kooky. But in this near-death experience, he then went to learn
I was already a qualified psychotherapist. I did that in 2004.
Did you?
Yes, I did it.
That's all a blur.
Well, okay, so I became a qualified psychotherapist and trauma counsellor after divorcing your mum.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And then I had the accident 4 years later.
Yeah. Anyway, he put it all together and implemented his knowledge of sales, his failures, his achievements, and psychology, and the Psychology of Sales is born. So what's really great about it is it doesn't just teach you sales, it teaches you a lot about communication, about the psychology of people. And of course, we've taken this and blended the ASM with the Psychology of Sales to create our new sales training program, which is what Sales Club is really going to be all about, going through it in detail and showing how to ignite your passion and really connect with this mentality and a new way of selling. And all of this has been put into a book, the Anti-Sales Manifesto, which will be available sort of at the end of this month. And we'd like to invite you if it's something you're interested in reading. It's also a bit of personal development and motivation. It does have questions which ask you to reflect, get you to really think about, what it is that you want for the future, but also where you're at, and a bit about who you are as a salesperson and what you know at the moment. And we're working on a journal which will coincide, but that will be available a bit later in the year. But really what we want people to do, and people that join us on this journey, is to really connect with who they are as a salesperson right now. And if that means taking what you know and throwing it out the window and it's a bit uncomfortable, some people find the word love a bit uncomfortable in business. It's not something I know. Actually, back in the days when Dad would resist me and I'd write something, because I am who I am, he'd say, "You can't say that, they'll think you're mad." Don't say that now.
Resistance is futile. Can I say something?
Yeah.
The thing is, the book, the ASM Anti-Sales Manifesto, is co-authored by Bianca, or by me, in one way of putting it. It takes what I wrote
by me.
as the psychology of selling, but phrases that I would never have put in there originally: abundance, love, care. I mean, care was starting to appear in there, but those phrases, that phraseology, this idea of the true giver's gain mentality of helping others to achieve, and my ethos has always been, if I can help enough people get what they want out of life, I'll get what I want out of life. That's always been my ethos. But it's that phraseology, that concept of really making a difference, and it's the payoff that you as a salesperson get that drives this. This is not being altruistic. This is not like, we just want to help the world. We do, but actually it's, you get that payoff from that, and that's what makes it so different, which leads us nicely.
But I just want to add one more thing, because it's just on that thing of love, and it's uncomfortable for people to go from like very to this. I think some people struggle to go from, it's a bit rigid there. I think, sorry to say this, but I think a lot of men maybe struggle with that. And I watched a really good, and it's on any of you BNI members on BNIU, Steve Farber, Extreme Leadership, isn't it? And he talks about the word love and how in leadership, he once felt a bit embarrassed, or he was struggled with that. And now he goes to leaders of all different companies, and when he talks about love and bringing love back to the people of the business, and going sort of from that fixed mindset to that growth mindset, how people really react well, and a lot of men particularly do end up really connecting with this. And I think we live in a world now where we're seeing quite a shift in consciousness, and people are more inclined towards this place of love and connection and growth, and there's no better time.
It is a harder path to run. I know we've got we're lucky to have Phil Berg on here, and Phil always says to me things like, sometimes I wish I didn't care so much, because it is the harder path to give. It is harder to give. You get the better result, but it is harder to give. And there's I've learned that more and more and more over the past years, that it is the right path. Now, that leads us nicely on to the sort of final section, which is where we're going to talk about the little thing I talked about this morning on LinkedIn, which is, is it important? And I think I talk about this on every single webinar, but it is important. So those of you who know the answer to this, keep your counsel. Is it important for people to like you? And specifically, is it important for customers to like you?
I love what Vanessa said. And we're very lucky to have Vanessa on here as well. Vanessa is the absolute queen of love. If you don't know Vanessa, you should definitely connect with Vanessa. I love that.
So, a lot of yeses. It is important. It is important for people to like you, because it makes communication work better. It makes sales work better. It makes life smoother. If people like you, it's easier. It is, isn't it? Do you agree?
For sure.
It is. Thing is, there's a secret of how to get people to like you, to genuinely like you, not fake like you, genuinely like you. And as Mark said, people buy from people. How do you get people? What's the easiest, number one way to get people to like you? Vanessa's put be true. It's a good answer. Care from Mark Evans, also a good answer. Get to know them, Kaylee. Be yourself. Help them. Mutual interest. All true. And they're all good reasons. But they're not the reason that
Vanessa's got it.
Not quite. Not quite. Nearly, but not quite. There is a way to get people to like you really quickly, really efficiently, and really make them feel important. A lot of people say that. These are all true. Scott Robinson knows because he's been through this before. Mark Evans put £20. So would you like to know the number one way to get people to genuinely like you? And the answer is this.
To like them first.
Like them first. That's it. That is the secret. Be a Labrador, not a Rottweiler.
But there's nothing wrong with Rottweilers.
Nothing wrong with Rottweilers, but you understand the difference. Be a Labrador. I'm a human Labrador. Hello. Don't play with me. I want to be your friend. Now, sometimes you have to do that on my nose and go, you're playing too much. You're being too enthusiastic, Adam. Sit. Stop. You're overdoing it. But generally, give me the opportunity. I want to play with you, run with you, do whatever. Take me for walks. Be a Labrador. Being cool, Siamese cat type thing.
You see what Jamie's put? You guys can't see this. Thank you so much for a very thought-provoking and interesting session. Just arrived at an 86-year-old customer who is locked out, about to show the love, as I'm not going to charge her. I will come back to you if you're still on when I get back in the car.
Jamie Dunn.
Love you.
I salute you. That's it. And you know what? The customer's going to get a lot of pleasure there, but Jamie's going to get just as much. Jamie, you're an absolute hero, sir. Absolute hero. I've always said it. If only you could.
What does that mean?
Jamie Dunn. Oh, he raised his hand. It's just to say hello.
Oh.
He's saying, yes, we salute you to Jamie Dunn. But that's it. Like them first. Now, actually, if you've seen the character, Sacha Baron Cohen's character, Borat, he manages to get people to open up to him throughout all his films and the TV shows by going, Yek Shemesh, I like you. And they go, he must be a good guy. And they let him in. And he destroys their lives. So liking them first, but you've got to be genuine. Can't be fake. Can't be fake.
A lot of people can sense
because
that.
You've got to, and there comes attitude, which is why love is the first part of the equation. Be a Labrador. Not always easy, because people keep telling you they don't like you, or they keep pushing you back. So here's a question for you. If you're surrounded by people that don't embrace your loving personality, what should you do? What should you do? If you're giving the love and people rejecting you, what do you do?
Give the love to yourself.
That's one way of doing it. But find other people to love.
But as Vanessa would say,
love
them back.
Love them more.
Love them
absolutely. Back. But there comes a point where you go,
love them anyway, yeah.
Love them anyway, and then find other people to love. You deserve to be loved, all of you. You deserve it. And as salespeople, you deserve for customers to buy from you. Love them. Believe your customer. Is another reason that another thing we talk about in sales training is trust. Is it important that your customers trust you? To which everyone's going to say, yes, it's really important. And you and your customers trusting you is the second most important part of trust in the sales process. The most important part is you trusting the customer to buy. You must believe in your customer for them to believe in you. Very much an important thing. Because if you don't think the customer is going to buy, you're already on a slippery slope. So you've got to love before you get love back. You've got to trust before you get trust back. That requires belief. What does it require belief in?
Yourself and the customer.
Bianca Caplan, she shoots, she scores. My work here is done. I may wander off into the sunset playing golf. So, we're well ahead, which is great, because I know a lot of people don't want to be hanging around tonight because there's the conference thing at 8. Bianca, last section.
So the last question is, have you planned 2021? We've spoken about goals, spoken about reverse engineering, we've spoken about, you know, how are you going to get to where you want to be this year? It's the perfect time for this. I don't know if any of you have already done this. I spent the best part of the 31st journaling, and in the new year, really looking at where to go forward. So I think taking what Dad said about where do you want to see yourself next year or 5 years, maybe your vision's 5 years, or you want to break it down to a 1-year vision, and really looking at reverse engineering to how you're going to get there. And that is a really, really powerful exercise, and one that we should all be doing if you haven't done it already. It is uncomfortable. Sometimes it really does require you to step outside your comfort zone, but it's exciting. And you can really motivate yourself. You feel so good. Feel all those feelings of joy as you visualize where you're going to be. And this requires SMART goals. So SMART goals, we did speak about this in our last one. So you guys might already know this, but you've got specific. So really be specific about your goals. Being specific is important, because how are you supposed to get to where you want to be if you can't be specific and you don't know what you're looking at? M is measurable. You need to be able to measure the goal. So are you going to put a time lap on it? Are you going to and what would you say about measurable then? Yeah,
measurable. They've got to be. You've got to be able. You've got to know you've hit it. You know, you can't say I want to earn a lot of money. How much? I want to lose a lot of weight. Well, how much is a lot? One man's lot is another man's not a lot. Measured.
A is attainable. So being able to actually reach a goal by breaking it down into micro goals will mean that you can reach each and every step. I like to think of it as one step forward at a time is a win. Every step that you get forward is a win. And that's why I said earlier, celebrate your wins. Because if you're trying to get from A to B and B's all the way a year away and you can't, it's going to take you so long to get there, you're going to feel disheartened because you haven't got there yet. But if you're looking at tomorrow or next week or a month away and you're achieving it, how amazing will you feel? And definitely celebrate yourself, which isn't in there. But I've actually forgotten it, but I learned something really lovely recently. Paul Brooks is on here. What did you put that post about Jim Quick about he added it. Let's see if he'll come back with it. It was really lovely. R is relevant. Make your goals relevant to you. This is your dream. This is your journey.
It's the why.
This is your why. Really, really, really make it relevant to you. And T is timed.
Got to have a deadline.
What is your deadline? Is it a 1-year vision, a 5-year vision? Is it a 1-month goal?
What is a goal without a timeline? What would you call it?
A dream.
Oh, she's good.
So make your dreams, turn your dreams into goals.
I love these sessions.
I know, I do ease into it after about 10 minutes.
About 6 months. But anyway, great. So I hope you've all found it useful, guys. We have recorded it. Enjoy the BMW on your way to your Ferrari. Love that. Hashtag Burgisms. Now, is that coming out in 21, Phil? Are we going to get that book out this year? Great book coming. Hashtag Burgisms. All of Phil's amazing sayings in the book with reasons why. I'm so looking forward to it. Hashtag not Burgisms. Hashtag Capitalisms. But top man. So I really hope you've enjoyed it. We'll stay on and ask any questions that you've got. Happy to answer, but we will be recording it has been recorded, should I say, we will be editing it at some point over the next week or two, since we know doesn't look like anybody's ever going to go out ever again.
Can I add a little thing just as we close? I think, again, I just say at the beginning, I just want to leave a little thing for you all, that we are all limitless, and the only limits that we have are the ones we put on ourselves, and other people also can limit us, but becoming aware of that and knowing that you know what you can achieve, and it's your goals, it's your life, is really powerful. But remember that you are limitless and that you can reach your goals. So this goal setting is really important. I know we have spoken about it before, but we wanted to go over it again because it really is so important. And if this inspires you guys to go and set those goals, then amazing. And I've gone off. I've forgotten what I was going to say.
You had something so important.
It's completely left my head. But anyway, that's a really nice sentiment, and I can't remember what I was going to say now. But yeah, it's been amazing having you all here. And
anyone got any questions they can ask us? We're happy to.
Hope.
Obviously, we've got. You can.
Oh,
she's remembered. Go.
Oh yeah. Okay. So our sales club is going to be launched this year, which would be great. Perhaps some of you will be on it. But I think one thing that we have a real passion for learning, me and Dad. We're our own little nerds. We really love learning. And I think learning is so crucial for all of us, every single person in this room. And so many people I've spoken to have given me pushback against me over the years and told me they basically know everything. And well, they don't. And none of us do. And there's something so humbling in accepting that you don't know anything. And if you're a leader, and most of us are leaders in our right, we don't know everything, and the only way we can, we're showing what we know. We don't know everything, and we're always learning. So take this year to really learn. Throw yourself into, whether it's on BNIU, webinars, podcasts, books, just networking and getting to know people and their experiences, and just learn, because 2021, we might see quite a few lockdowns. We might still be in this. Who knows? But we can always learn. And actually, there's no room for boredom in the world, because there is always something to learn. So I think that's a really nice little sentiment to take ahead in 2021.
Fantastic.
And just thought I'd share that with you.
Great. Love that.
I taught that to Phoebe.
Make a note of that. It's a great line.
My cousin, she's 8 years old, and she kept telling me, hold on, she kept telling me that she's bored all the time. And I said to her, there is no room for boredom in the world, because there's always something you can learn. And she's never said it to me since. And even when she went to her parents a while ago, they went somewhere, and she packed a backpack, and she said, Bianca, look, I've got a book, I've got this, I've got encyclopedia, I've got this and this. And she has her imaginary friends and everything. And she didn't have one moment of boredom. And I think often we can sink into that feeling of, oh, I'm so bored, there's nothing to do. But there's so much to do, whether it's in your business, yourself. And is
that your phrase?
I don't know.
It's very, very good.
I don't actually know, but it's an ethos I live by.
Make every day a positive day.
Well, that's my ethos.
That's very good.
And I don't ever get bored.
Love that.
But it's just I want to share that with you all.
Shared.
Anyway, let's hope it's all okay this evening. And
well, there's been some fantastic comments on the chat. I need to find a way. To save this chat, because I don't want to lose. Look at that. Brilliant. So we've got loads. Oh, someone's got, I bet they're going to tell me how to save it. You rock, Bianca. Aww. So very wise. 3 dots on the right. Hold on. Save chat. Leon, you just made my day. Save chat.
Do you know how many times he has literally sat here screenshotting and going, huh? Oh, glad you found it uplifting, Colin.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for
we
the
can
lovely
always
words.
do with a bit of motivation.
Absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, as I said, there's lots and lots of people to learn from. I'm always learning. And sometimes I find the best way of learning is through teaching. So when you're talking to your customers and helping them, whatever it is you do, they'll teach you and help them.
Your customers always teach you.
You know, loads and loads of stuff. Thank you very much, Julia. Log in and select autosave. Very good. Leon, fantastic. Thank you very much. Lovely words from everybody. We've loved it. Let's hope that...
I really enjoy it when I'm in it.
You see? Why do you get so stressed out?
I'll work on that.
You give me such a hard time as well. You never do it. You always do this. I don't know what I'm saying. That's what she's doing to me.
Just
right.
Panic.
Love you all. I'm going to now thank you all for coming again. We are going to be doing it again next week.
Thanks, Phil.
Next month, should I say. Next month is Bianca's choice. She's going to come up with the topic, the time and everything else. So you watch out for that in the next...
Everyone just shout out a time you'd like to have it. If it was you. Is it 11 a.m.? Is it 2 p.m.? Is it 5 p.m.? Just quick shout out a time.
Right, what do we want? Let's have some ideas. 6:30 p.m. from Leon. 1-0 to 6:30. Go on, 6:30.
You have to save the chat at the end again, remember? Oh, move it.
2 to 6:30. Any time. That's 3 to 6:30. 7 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Look, it's walkover. No. Nick just said, will you have a haircut? No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
He went for a haircut, got back in the car, and I said, Dad, you've not had a haircut. He said, yeah, I had 4 millimeters off. Oh, we love it.
And hairdressers are closed. I found a great Turkish
so
barbers
nail
in London.
salons, I'm sure, maybe.
Guys, thank you. Have a good one, and we'll see you next month. And we'll send you an email and everything else. So perfect, guys. Keep well.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming.
See you soon. Keep well. Bye.
And have a great year. See you soon.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
And we're done.